Ladies, gentlemen, and haratum of all ages, Diablo 4 is at it again. Less than a week into Season 1, we have new information pertaining to the future of the game, the present of the game, and, well, there's something a little bit scummy going on that we should probably be talking about as well. First up, though, let's focus on the proper news of the day, the stuff that comes officially from the developers themselves. First up, we have this tweet from Adam Fletcher, Global Community Development Director for Diablo, an update on some items, we have some hotfixes and a small client patch that will be hitting this week to address some bug issues. No balance items in these. In other words, we have some updates that are coming in this week. They could change some things, but there are no intentional balance shifts included in here. That said, that doesn't mean that certain class and build power won't be changing, because in the last hotfix that they did, they had a bug fix for an interaction with the subterranean aspect for Druid that dramatically increased its actual damage. And, well, in more specific terms for these upcoming changes, we know for a fact that the imperfectly balanced passive for Necromancer isn't working right now, which is actually genuinely really funny considering what it's called, which isn't physically allowing you to put more than 1 point into it, even though it should obviously allow 3 points, or even more if you get bonus ranks of it on an amulet. This is an extremely important passive for Necromancer as an entire class, and the fact that this is currently bugged is obviously a really big issue, but they specifically said that it wasn't something that could be fixed within a hotfix. However, this tweet mentions that there will also be a small client patch this week directed around bug fixes, and there is a decent chance in my mind that this passive's bug is fixed within that. We don't know when these hotfixes or client patches will be happening though, just that they will be small and they will be soon, so keep an eye out on those, and if there's anything of particular note happening in them, I will of course let you all know about it. Next up, we have some tweets with Joseph Pipiora, Associate Game Director, where a player brings up the ridiculousness of respawn locations in dungeons. How sometimes you can die all the way at the end of one, and then the respawn is just at the very beginning, and you have to run the whole way back with nothing to kill, which is just so boring, and it is in fact a thing that happens all the time, and it is definitely a bit frustrating. The response here from Joseph Pipiora is, okay. We'll take a look. That means it wasn't something that was being looked into before really, so the timeline of this potential change is probably really far out, but this would be a solid improvement for the game if we do get it. It's just a little annoying thing that would improve quality of life if it was fixed. After this, we have someone asking if it's possible to add a proper in-game announcement about world boss spawns, as they are incredibly easy to miss if you don't scour your map once every 30 minutes just looking around and checking, or if you have an external website open with a timer or even notifications on to blast the sound into your ears when a world boss is coming, just so you don't miss it. They even mention that there is of course already a system like this in place for Helltides, even if you aren't in the activity. It announces just on the entire open world when Helltide starts. It announces when there are 5 minutes left just to make sure that you don't lose your cinders. A similar system where the 30-minute timer starts before a world boss, and then a secondary warning 5 minutes beforehand to let people actually get over to the location seems both totally doable, given they already have the Helltide system in place, and genuinely helpful to a ton of players who I know would like to have this feature. The response to this is that it's something that the team is discussing internally. Not sure exactly what the vagueness is here, because usually the devs use that wording on something that they're not really willing to comment on properly one way or another, but he didn't say we're working on it. That tells me that they sort of just want to fix the issue, but are looking to do it in a more creative way than just copying Helltide warnings, or because it's not quite as easy as that. Because when you think about it, Helltide happens on a very specific timer. It is up for an hour, then it's down for an hour and 15 minutes, then it's up for an hour, and that happens on repeat, which means that you can actually program these warnings to happen at specific times of day, completely unrelated to the actual Helltide system itself, because Helltide happens at set times, whereas world bosses are every 5 to 8 hours. It's pretty inconsistent, but there are usually 4 a day, and they just sort of happen at different times within those windows. But hopefully we'll have some sort of change here, some sort of additional system that helps with this, because it would be really nice, and it would be great if we could get this change before, like, I don't know, Season 14. After that, we have the confirmation from players of a new horse mount armor that started dropping, which is the actually random chance drop from killing the butcher himself. This is what it looks like, all fleshy and bloody and gross, and of course the best of ways, we are playing Diablo, and of course it has freaking hands hanging from it as well as skulls. This is incredibly fitting for the butcher, and it's a fun cosmetic item to have in a game that is as dark and dirty as this one, and I mean that in a good way. And now we should have a chat about something that I'm not happy that we need to talk about, but more than happy to blast Blizzard for. The platinum that you receive in the premium Battle Pass isn't just bad, it is genuinely rude to your players and just sort of a little bit disgusting. The total amount of platinum from finishing the premium Battle Pass is 666. I respect the thematicness of this, of course. I know it was a big consideration for them, as they like to use the funny hell number, and this is an applicable way to do that. The problem with this, though, is that this is a situation that actually impacts people's real-world money, so just defaulting to the funny hell number has its issues, because 666 platinum is absolutely nothing with the way that they've monetized this game in general. The cheapest items in the shop are 800 platinum, so you'd need to buy 2 battle passes to even get the cheapest things if that's what you wanted to do with it. A premium battle pass itself costs 1000 platinum, so you don't get enough for a new one, obviously, within a battle pass, but when we break down those numbers into multiple seasons, it gets even worse. Technically speaking, with the platinum that you receive from the battle pass, you can get 1 out of 2 battle passes, quote unquote free, by using the platinum from the last one. That said, let's break down how you get there and why this is actually a really bad representation of the actuality of it, even though guaranteed they will try to say those words at one point, that you get 1 out of 2 for free. The first battle pass that you buy gets you 666 platinum. That's not enough for the season 2 battle pass, of course, so let's say that you buy that one too. Now you have 1332 platinum. Sweet, you can use that to buy the season 3 battle pass. At that point, by season 3, you have paid for 2 seasons and gotten 1 season as a quote unquote free reward. Now we get to the fun part. By buying season 3, you go down to 332 platinum. In this battle pass, you would get 666 platinum. Where does that put you? 998. Exactly too short of being able to buy the next battle pass for season 4, which feels like just such an incredibly sad and completely avoidable moment. So at the very least, I really hope that they give us an extra 2 at some point just for fun, because that feels like an incredibly scummy just moment to reach in time if that happens. Again, I get that 666 is the funny hell number, but there must be someone who is involved in these decisions who did the same math that I'm doing right now and decided, you know what, that's okay. That's actually good for us. So basically, if you want every premium battle pass, by season 4, you will have had to buy 3 of them and gotten 1 of them from the platinum rewards. A 1-in-4 ratio by that point. That's where things take a turnaround, of course, as 998 plus 666 is 1664, which lets you buy the next one with the platinum you've already gotten. Then 664 plus 666 is 1330, which lets you buy the one after that as well. In other words, it is a slowly scaling increased value for buying more and more battle passes over time. The less that you play, the more that you spend, and the more Blizzard stands to make from the people who quit earlier on, which is of course something that they must have thought about and part of why they did it this way. By season 4, you are at 1-in-4 free battle pass ratio. By season 6, you're at a 1-in-2. So they'll be able to tote at some point that you get 1 out of every 2 battle passes free, but the truth of that is that it's only the case if you play 6 seasons and buy 3 battle passes before getting a good portion of that free part of it, as that's the last 2 of them. This needs changing. It's just sort of wrong. The funny hell number is great, don't get me wrong, but not in a situation where it has to do with people's actual money, and it creates moments like having 998 out of 1000 platinum required for a premium battle pass. I'm just saying, the optics of this are not great. Then finally today, we're going to be having a look at all of the models of the PvP armor sets for season 1. 2 of them for each gender, for each class, and there is not only some variety in here, but some actual decent looking sets. Of course, they aren't all mind-blowing in any way, but keeping in mind that you can mix and match specific bits to different sets, there is definitely some potential in here for cool wardrobe additions if you go around collecting Seeds of Hatred to actually get them. I'll have them rotating through here so you can see all of them. The Barbarian set is about what you would think it would be. It is somewhat nice in some dudes, some skulls, some spikes, but also some lighter armor pieces and a half face mask, which is actually a neatly unique aesthetic for Barbarian. Druid gets a very snake-themed outfit that I actually quite like, again, mostly because of its uniqueness. There is no other Druid set that focuses on snakes to this specific amount, especially not as far as this one does. Nothing else for Druid even looks anything close to this, which makes it really stand out and makes it actually worth considering getting. Necromancer gets something a little bit more light armor-ish than most of their stuff, but of course, still very spiky. I like the helmet of the second set, but otherwise I think this might be the weakest of the 5 classes armors for the season. Rogue gets another snakish set. The helmet is pretty sick in the second one in my opinion. The rest of it looks alright, especially if you consider that you can apply dyes to change up the colors. And then we have the Sorcerer set. This one is okay-ish. It's a bit more armored than most Sorc sets visually. It has some skulls and what appears to be a literal peeled face just hanging from the belt, which is actually pretty neat. But what I do like the most is the helmet with a face on every side. It just looks quite interesting and unique to me, and I think that that's what makes a good set that's only available for a limited time. And that's all of them. With that, pretty much everything we have to talk about today, too. There is likely to be a hotfix or client patch tonight, or even tomorrow, if not, and we also have the Campfire Chat on Friday to talk about the upcoming more major patch of 1.1.1 to the game, which will hit about a week from now. And of course, I'll be here to talk about that stream as soon as it's over, too. I hope you've all enjoyed this breakdown of what's going on in the Diablo 4 community, and I wish you luck in your farming journey as we continue Season 1. Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.